Hello, episode 5 teens of Between a Rock and a Balder Rock.
Yes. Can we get out of the teens already? I'm tired of you saying it like that.
It's fucking 10 IC all over again.
Yes.
Did that rub you the wrong way the same way it rubs Daniel the wrong way?
No.
It's my tism. Whoop. I don't know what to tell you. So you might have watched. Did you watch the Kenobi show?
I watched a couple episodes. There was like an episode where he was like chopping meat and then he stole a knife or something, or stole some meat. I don't fucking remember what he stole something.
Yeah, it was the last episode.
No, it wasn't. It was like the first episode.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it actually was the first episode.
And then there was some other episode where he was like walking around town or whatever. That might have been the same. Maybe I only watched the first episode.
Damn. It wasn't super great, but like, I don't know, it was cool. I love Ewan McGregor. I think he's a great actor, and he is Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. I heard the well, I didn't just hear, I also watched it. Spoilers. But apparently the Anakin Obi fight was pretty sick in like the the temple or whatever.
That full on fucking like made it better, in my opinion. That fight was badass. I will say I don't necessarily love the fact that the fight happened though.
Well, so was it Anakin or was it Darth Vader?
It was Vader.
Okay. Well, who won?
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan won? I feel like
Yeah.
I almost feel like that makes the story in episode 4 mean less.
That's yeah, exactly. So after the episode tonight, unless you plan on watching that show, you should just watch the whole fight. Because there's an aspect of it that's really badass. So they announced a season 2 of the show. And even though I'm hyped because that means more Ewan, I'm a little scared because yet again, here we are fucking tiptoeing with fire. Yet again, they're like, hey, we're gonna George Lucas really fucked everything up by doing episodes 4, 5, and 6 as the first 3 movies. But people are following in his steps and continuously ruining shit because they're like, hey, there's pre-established lore. Let's fuck with it. We talk about this every time we talk about Star Wars, but that's my biggest fucking beef with that franchise.
That's why I was so excited for. Well, so the prequels were pretty good, and they didn't really step on any established lore. If anything, they really added to everything. Shit. Yeah, but then like I mean, like Clone Wars was also fine, minus the fact that they added like Ahsoka, who like didn't exist in the films and maybe should have been mentioned a little bit, but like
like at some point
I think they did a really good job watching the movies and then integrating the show into a way that it was like, oh, like there's like time skips in the movies. That's where Ahsoka was, like that sort of thing.
But
that's why I was excited for the sequels, because it's like, hey, this is brand new. Like we have all the established lore, all the canon. Let's see what you're gonna do. And they fucking wrote Ironheart.
Damn. Have you watched that?
I'm not going to watch that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched Captain Marvel. I haven't watched She-Hulk. Starting to notice a pattern here. It's not that I'm racist, it's that I hate women.
It's that he's a fucking anti-feminist.
Exactly.
All right, buddy.
No, it's I don't know. I see the reviews and they're like, those shows are bad and they fucking betray the whole franchise. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna watch those then.
I'm gonna watch Ironheart once I'm done with my Marvel rewatch, which I just finished up Quantumania tonight. So I'm getting towards the end. I have like 5 more movies, I think. So I'll probably finish that this week. Either this week or like early next week.
Oh yeah.
I'll be finishing it.
My my thing about Ironheart is I probably will watch it, and I think that maybe people are having a bad reaction to it, and it's too early to say like how the character is going to develop, because if they're trying to paint her as like kind of a shit kid and then like have her have like a character development of some sort, like they have to start somewhere. It's just
they
unfortunate.
They definitely are trying to do that because
it's
well, so you didn't watch Black Panther 2, right?
No, I didn't watch that. But it's, for me, the Ironheart thing kind of like, apparently she's a thief or she does petty crime and steals shit, but she also gets kicked out of MIT. And she had a full ride. Like, so I always see people being like, oh, you just don't like Ironheart because you're racist or whatever. And I feel like a lot of it is like, I don't think it's that people are racist. I think the character is just poorly written, or it's written in a way that's like she's failing to acknowledge her own like privilege and while criticizing other people's privilege. And when you start,
she's
go ahead.
She has I'm not gonna say a big role in Black Panther 2, but she has like a decent sized role in Black Panther 2, and that's where she gets introduced. And that type of behavior is like already kinda being laid there. So I think the show starting off that way makes sense, because I think it's gonna take place shortly after Black Panther 2. And so they're probably gonna end up, because I mean she ends up becoming a black female Iron Man. So
right.
I think they're gonna end up, fucking moving her into that role of like, I guess like she's probably not gonna take over Tony's role altogether, because she's obviously like young, she's a college kid, but
right.
I think they're at least gonna. She'll probably lead like the Young Avengers or something like that. Or
see, now I could see something like that. But I mean, what other Young Avengers do we have? We don't have. Like, they're gonna
I don't know who the fuck's in that team.
They're gonna have to start adding a lot of people.
No, if you actually look at it, there's enough to at least match the same amount of people that was in the first Avengers movie. So there's her, there's Kate Bishop, there's Cassie Lang. You only need 2 more. Miss Marvel.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so the original roster includes Iron Lad, Patriot, Hulking, which is the son of Captain Marvel and Skrull Princess, Wiccan and Speed, Hawkeye, which is Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, and Stature, which is Cassie Lang.
Wiccan and Speed have already been introduced, so
Wiccan. Have they? Oh yeah, they have, because they were in the fucking Scarlet Witch show.
Yeah.
Or WandaVision or whatever it's called. Yeah, okay, so Iron Lad is a version of Kang the Conqueror, by the way. So I wonder if they're going to somehow make it that Riri is this universe's Kang, or because they fucked up their whole Kang storyline in general. I mean, it's not really Marvel's fault, but like, back to Star Wars though. So yeah, we got fucking Ironheart for the sequels, where they just like made them suck almost on purpose. It's like as films, I don't think they're really bad films. It's just the fact that there's pre-established lore and canon, and they're just like, yeah, fuck all that shit. We're gonna do whatever the fuck we feel like.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And so here they're making a second season of Kenobi, which is cool, but like they're gonna end up fucking with shit. Like, he can't fight Vader again. Like, you just can't. Like, if you have him fighting Vader all the time, like, I think it kind of fucks up the whole story. Not only that, but like when you look at the expanded universe that Disney uncanonized, like there's so many stories there where like Kenobi is fighting Vader, but like I never felt the same, like where I never felt like it was like a slap in the face to the original films, if that makes sense.
And he can't fucking meet Luke. He can't meet Leia, which he already did, in my opinion, too much and tiptoed too close to Luke.
Oh, isn't Leia in the show too?
She is.
She gets captured by the fucking bounty hunter kids.
She does, and fucking Obi-Wan saves her, which like she's like a 5-year-old kid, 4-year-old kid. So
that
like,
part I didn't have a problem with, because she knew who he was prior to Luke meeting him on on Tatooine.
Yeah.
So I think I'm okay with that part. I would have rather. Dude, who else is he gonna meet? What's Jyn Erso's father's name?
Galen. Well, no. What the fuck was his name?
I don't fucking know. Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah. So what they could do, they already kind of like tiptoed with having the guy from the Jedi games.
Cal Kestis.
Yeah, Cal. So he could end up running into Cal.
But so that would be fine, but that means he's gonna run into like what's the word? Inquisitors.
Yeah.
Were there Inquisitors in the first season?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
It was.
All right. Well then, yeah, that could happen. Yeah. Oh yeah, because they're chasing him or something in the fucking village or whatever. He sees them.
So you could have him meet Cal. You could also what was the name of the guy that dated well fuck, I can't remember her name either. The fucking bald white lady that had the fucking 2 lightsabers that was Dooku's apprentice.
Ventress. Asajj Ventress.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the fucking guy that dated her.
What the fuck is that guy's name? Dude, I'm gonna feel so stupid when I look this up.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now.
Dude, it's like so Quinlan Vos.
Yes, Quinlan Vos. So Quinlan gets kind of name dropped in the Kenobi show. Cal might as well, or there's some connection to Cal that gets dropped. So either one of them could potentially end up making an appearance. I don't know.
Do you think he would run into Asajj?
You're just tiptoeing with fucking fire.
Because they just had that show come out that's like the show about her, and I haven't watched all of that yet.
I haven't watched any of it, but yeah, it's true they did.
What the fuck is that show? Tales of the Underworld?
Mm-hmm. That is exactly what it's called. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish they do some fucking give me some Old Republic shit, except fucking don't make it like Acolyte. Which I didn't. There was aspects of Acolyte I didn't like, but there was plenty I did like about Acolyte. Like it gave us one of the most badass lightsaber fights we've had.
Isn't that just more Inquisitors though?
Acolyte? No, that was a Old Republic show.
Oh, okay.
Or I think High Republic. Technically, it's a High Republic show.
So funny enough, Asajj Ventress's hair color is listed as brown on the wiki.
Not bald. Her hair grows out.
Yeah,
when she goes on the run.
But I think she was keeping it bald when she was with Dooku.
Yeah.
Shout out Dookie.
Hair color bald, hair color brown.
Exactly.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll watch it. It's Ewan. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'll at least give it the old college try.
As long as they have fucking what's his name there. I forgot his name, but he's the super fucking nerd or whatever. But they had him. They brought him on as consulting.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah, that's the one. No. I don't think. Well, hold on. Maybe it is.
Are you talking about like the fucking director guy, or are you talking about Sam Witwer who does
Sam
Darth
Witwer?
Maul?
That's the one. Yeah,
Okay.
Darth Maul. Yeah. As long as they bring him in as a fucking consultant again, because it's like the like viral TikTok of him talking about or I've seen him talking about it, but I've seen other people talking about him talking about it, and basically, for those of you who don't know, the story is that they were doing a scene where Anakin is meeting his mom, and like she's already dead, so it's like a force ghost or some apparition or a dream, or I don't remember the exact context, and I haven't seen what this is from. But he's meeting his mom, and he's like, "Oh, you have to meet. Like, I found a woman. I fell in love. Like, you have to meet her." And Sam Witwer was like, "Well, hold on now. You can't." Like, he's like, "All right, we got to redo the whole scene because they've already met, actually." Which is true. Canonically, they did meet in episode 1. So, there's that or whatever.
He's a Star Wars super nerd. That's
yeah,
cool.
And apparently Dave Filoni was like, "Oh shit, dude, I totally forgot." And the meme or whatever is like, "Oh, I've never seen Dave Filoni be out Filoni'd before."
Out Filoni the baloney. All right, that's pretty much all I have to talk about with that. We could do a whole 6-hour podcast about
speculate
Star Wars.
what it's going to be about more. He's going to die.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. He's probably going to rescue Luke and breastfeed him, and then he'll fucking die, and Luke's going to become the chosen one.
That's
my speculation.
A fine piece of space ass or whatever the fuck that is. Have I ever told you about Ahsoka Tano?
We should link that video for the uninitiated.
True. Oh boy,
that video is great.
I think that's before AI was really taking off too. It's still AI generated voice, but like the whole video's not AI.
Exactly.
Like, what could they do? Him becoming a moisture farmer?
No, they're probably gonna have him just fucking off doing adventures.
How many adventures did he have, dog? He
had hella years to kill, though. That's the thing.
He did, but like also he was on Tatooine too long, or already is what I should say. He was already on Tatooine. Like, I feel like that's kind of fucked up. And how are they gonna explain how he's fucking related to the kids raising Luke or whatever? What the fuck are their names? Paul and I actually don't even know if it's Paul.
Who was related to them?
How Kenobi is related to those kids?
Kenobi's not related to them. It's Anakin is.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they were Skywalkers.
Yeah, Owen and Beirut.
Are they?
I think.
I just don't know who the fuck they are.
So
are they?
Owen is Anakin's stepbrother.
On Shmi's side or on his dad's side?
Yeah, so Owen Lars is the son of Klieg Lars. Klieg married Shmi.
But that's before episode 1, right? Or was it after episode 1? The whole fucking timeline gets fucking convoluted. Fuck it, maybe Star Wars is just trash in general. That's my new theory. After talking about Star Wars, I've just decided the whole fucking franchise is dog shit. Let's move on.
Exactly.
Okay, but
yeah, what?
Don't they show those kids in the Kenobi show?
They do.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, in episode 2 they go and talk to Klieg.
Oh yeah,
I think it's Klieg that
tells Anakin that his mom is fucking.
She's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that's So yeah, it's like fucking. It's his step on uncle. Shout out step bro.
Shout out moisture farmers.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna end up being unnecessary. I'm like cautiously optimistic because, like I said, it's more Ewan as Obi-Wan, but what they should end up doing, they should end this season with a live action recreation of his fight in Rebels with Darth Maul.
But I was also gonna say they should just redo like Clone Wars and Rebels. Like they should have just done those TV shows over. You could have done like an abridged version or something where they're shorter and like redone them, but with the live action actors.
Yeah, and cut out the fillers. Let's just call it Clone Wars Kai and Rebels Kai.
Exactly. Exactly. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I do know why. It's obviously because they suck ass at it, but I don't know why Disney is so fucking afraid of venturing into new uncharted territory.
Because whenever they do it, they fuck it up. So then they get scared and they're like, all right, we gotta.
I feel like Disney's been fucking everything up lately, though. Like Lilo and Stitch. What was the one earlier? Fucking Snow White or whatever. Sleeping Beauty. What was that one? Snow White, I think.
Snow White. Yeah.
Rachel Zegler or whatever. And then fucking Ironheart now. Like, I just think that Disney is just fucking. They need to hang it up. And then this Pixar film, which I guess is technically not Disney, but this most recent Pixar film that came out is apparently not doing great.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. So Lilo and Stitch might be an L, and they changed a lot of stupid shit, but it still
did well.
It has grossed over 858 million. Yeah, so like, even though they have fucked it up, it's like, did they like? They're not gonna view it as a fuck up, you know, because they almost fucking snagged $1 billion with it. So, but like Snow White though, that lost them money. So,
yeah, well, not only that, but Elio or whatever, the fucking Pixar film was there. It was the lowest grossing Pixar film opening weekend ever. Like, it set the record low for Pixar films, which is kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Damn, as of July 4th, it's only made 81 million.
Damn, dude, that's crazy. Some of those films this year that we've already talked about were making that much opening weekend.
The film's budget was 150 million, and that's not including marketing costs.
Yeah, you know, oof, big yikes. Dude,
yeah,
I don't know. I it's like Disney has been, and it's even like Acolyte is good, and like I feel like people didn't like that. I've heard a lot of people saying they don't like Book of Boba Fett or whatever because it doesn't like. There's parts of it that don't make sense, like the scene where him and Mando are like in a thing together, and like Mando's like, "Oh, we'll go out shooting or whatever together. Like, we'll die together. We'll fucking get out of here together." And
yeah,
everyone was like, it really betrays Boba's character, because in that situation, old Boba would have been like, "Yo, all right, let's do that." And then as soon as he had a chance, he would have just run away and fucking left Mando. And then he didn't do that. So like, I don't know. I feel like they don't look closely enough at their source material to make like sequels or like adaptations or even remakes. But at the same time, they're not willing to go make new characters or tread new ground. Like, just fucking figure your shit out, Disney. They're in such a bad spot, honestly. Like, they're doing okay, I suppose, but like, I think if this continues, people are going to be pretty done with Disney as a brand in like 10 years. If this continues. So, you know.
if they continue having L's like Snow White, yeah.
When was the last time DreamWorks had an L?
Never.
Shrek 4, maybe.
I think they just have enough W's to balance it out. Like, I think their W's are massive, and their L's, even though they have plenty, the few W's they do have are so massive it outweighs them.
Yeah, I just feel like they've been having a lot of more L's lately, though. That's all.
Yeah.
And dude, and while we're on the topic of remakes, like, Treasure Planet, hello?
Ooh.
Hello, Disney? Treasure Planet? Did we get Treasure Planet, dude? Yeah, exactly. You don't even know what the fuck it is. Of course, they're never going to remake it. It's a fantastic fucking movie. Maybe it's not Disney, though. I'm pretty sure it is, though. Let me look it up. Treasure Planet.
What in the fucking Dark Crystal shit are you going on about?
Yeah, it is fucking Disney. Yep. Came out in 2002. It's a
Planet of Treasure.
Yeah, it's an excellent fucking film. But I don't know, it just didn't go well.
Much like everything Disney.
That was like one of their first big flops, and when a lot of people think that the golden age or whatever ended. Golden age, silver age, however the fuck that works.
Damn. So what are they saying we were in? The platinum age?
Brother, I don't know. A lot of people say that Disney fell off when they started making 3D only movies for animation.
Mm.
And that might be true. Because they had hand animation all the way up until the 2000s, and then they made fucking Tangled. I think Tangled was the first one. And then after that...
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, and then they never went back to hand-drawn animation. Well, not even hand-drawn, but 2D animation ever again. I think Princess and the Frog was the last one they did. Because after that, Tangled came out. And then it was like
Princess
Tangled.
And the Yeet.
Yeah, Tangled, and then Frozen. And then, yeah. That's all she wrote.
Nah, all they have to do is drop a Frozen every 10 years and that'll keep them afloat.
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe.
Maybe every like 5 or 6 years.
Well, they missed the mark on, I think they're due for Frozen right now, actually. When did the last one come out? 21? Sounds right.
Maybe.
Frozen 2 came out in... Hello?
2019.
2019.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Holy shit.
Overdue.
Yeah. Well, when did the first one come out? I thought that came out like 2015. Oh, 2013. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. I'm 2 years off on both of those. Another criticism I've seen lately of Disney's animation and Pixar in general, I think it was mostly directed at Pixar, is that everyone has fucking bean mouth.
The fuck does that mean?
So like instead of having like a realistic looking mouth that has like, you know, like edges or whatever, like, and then like it goes up, like realistic looking mouth and like lips, for instance, they've opted to do like a bean shape that just opens and closes. So it's essentially just like a circle for a mouth. So when they're talking, it's just like a bean shape. And apparently people don't like the way that looks because it, I don't know, looks fucking, I mean, it doesn't look great, not gonna lie. And
so, oh damn, Multiverse of Madness almost hit a fucking $1 billion at the box office. I didn't know that.
Hell yeah, it was a popular film, I thought.
I'm looking at the like box office numbers. So it looks like in 2024. So Lilo and Stitch, this is saying that's at 972 thousand for worldwide box office. That's almost at a million. I mean a billion. 972 million, sorry. So it's almost at a billion. So in Lilo and Stitch just recently came out, but then 2024 they had Moana 2, which passed a billion. And I just had it. What the fuck? Where'd it go? Moana 2. Hello? Am I fucking blind?
Yes.
There we go. Inside and Out 2. I don't know why I said and out. Inside Out 2. That hit 1.7 billion. So, but that's it for 2024. Well, Deadpool and Wolverine, that was 1.3
billion.
Yeah. So everything else that they released in 2024, which I don't even know, was well under that. So Mufasa, The Lion King, was 722 million.
Was Elemental. That's technically Pixar, but like people always act like Pixar is separate from Disney. Yeah, so it hit 496 million, so not even 500, not even half a bill.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, oh, Elemental came out 2 years ago, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was last year's Pixar film, but maybe Did Pixar put a film out last year? Oh, it was the fucking Red Panda one. What was that called? Becoming Red?
Panda. I think it's just Red.
Oh, it's called Turning Red. That was 2022. What the fuck?
Damn.
Domestically, it grossed one. What is this number? Is this billion or million? Turning Red says that it grossed 1.399 million domestically, but that doesn't fucking make sense. Worldwide total being 21,813 million. Oh, okay. That doesn't seem right to me, but okay. What was their 2024 film?
Nothing.
Self?
Yeah, Self-Report.
Is Inside Out?
We've spent way too much time
Pixar?
talking about fucking Kenobi and Disney.
Yeah, anyways, fucking
Inside Out 2, that was
it
whoever it wants to be.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Moral of the story, Disney ass. Moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Tons of L's. So, speaking of other L's, well, this is actually probably a W.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, it's definitely a W.
So Neil Druckmann is going to be leaving the HBO show alongside Haley Gross. Which, if you had said this
prior to season 2,
honestly, probably even like earlier than that. Like if you would have said he left before the show was finished filming, like season 1 was filming, I would have been like probably kind of concerned, but yeah, I think he was trying to make them two separated, or maybe we're gonna find out HBO was sticking their dick in it way too much,
and he finally was like, "Fuck this! You're fucking with my shit." I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's blaming Neil, but maybe it's not his fault. I don't know.
There's an entire episode in the first season that you could cut, and it doesn't change the first season at all. Like it literally doesn't change the season at all. You just cut that whole episode out. It's gone. And season 2 had insane viewer drop off.
Yeah, really bad viewer drop off. So I don't know. They're talking about making the second game three seasons long.
Yeah. So
which it does not need that at all.
It could have been I mean, it was a little longer than the first game, so it could have been like maybe 2 seasons, maybe. But
I'm okay with them making it 2 seasons.
3
season 3 would just need to
ridiculous.
be a few episodes longer than season 2. Season 2 only had, what was it, 7 episodes or something like that?
Yeah, but a third season for the second game is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
I honestly feel like they could have condensed it a lot and made it 1 season or a longer season, or because what is it, 8 episodes?
Season 2 is only 7. So the problem is
they could have done 10
shows
episodes
nowadays.
They could have done 10 episodes and fit everything in there.
Not efficiently.
Yes,
because
they could have.
No, they couldn't have. They needed to expand more on Ellie's stuff, and they had 7 episodes.
I mean, I also don't think they did a good job. Well, so again, this comes down to, I don't know if it's fucking Druckmann's fault or whose fault or the writer's fault, or Druckmann being one of the writers, or if it comes down to Bella Ramsey's acting. But Ellie's character, and maybe this is just my bias because I've played the game, but Ellie's character didn't character. Like there's no development.
You talking about?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sort of. I mean, like, I don't think Bella Ramsey's necessarily a bad actor. I think she's just miscast. Like, they did a bad job casting her as Ellie. I think she could be excellent in other roles, not Ellie.
I don't think so.
I think she would. I almost think she could have been a better Abby than she was an Ellie.
I don't think they should be acting at all, because there's no emotion conveyed. Like the animation in the game had better emotion than a live human being, and that's pretty fucking sad.
It helps I don't want to call her ugly or anything. Like, I feel like that's rude to be like, oh, Bella Ramsey just looks stupid or dopey or something.
Don't go casting stones.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything like that, but like, it helps when your face doesn't look like. I have nothing nice to say about her face.
I'll find the fucking picture. I just need you to show the picture of her fucking face, because if anyone hasn't seen the fucking episodes, she makes it like every fucking episode after episode 3. So from episodes 3 to 7, any gunfight, anytime something scary's happening, anytime any action's happening, she makes this fucking stupid face, dude, and it pisses me off so bad.
And like, so is it like a physical limitation, or like,
I think it's like, a skill issue, honestly, on her fucking
I mean,
part.
if you just told me that Bella's face just can't emote that emotion, fine. But the fact that I can't find it. It's a lot harder. It's like that Beyonce photo where Beyonce was like a racist from the internet. I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about. It's on the Super Bowl performance. Yeah, it's a Super Bowl performance photo where she's like, and I'll pull that up too, just so everyone knows what I'm talking about. I'll pull that up first, actually, because I can find it really quick. But she was like, please erase this from the internet. And no one erased it from the internet. Oh shit. Maybe Google be erasing shit. No, I found it.
I was gonna say, damn, I see what you're saying. I'm not fucking finding it either. Imagine we just made up that face.
We didn't. It's in the Discord if we really wanted to find it.
That's true. Several times. No, I actually saw the memes originally, and I was hoping it was dramatized.
There's Beyonce
and
right
it is
there.
Not.
I can send it to you if you want to know, but you can just look up Beyonce Super Bowl face, and I'm sure you'll find it. But she wanted that removed from the internet, which, I mean, the internet's forever. So, brother, what do I have to type to get Bella's face in that face? I mean, this isn't even the one I'm gonna show you, but might as well show this one anyway. Like, she's got bean mouth. That's what it is. She's animated with bean mouth.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the fucking. She's got the mouth from Elia, dude. She doesn't have the fucking. She got that Pixar mouth. Brother, it's just like she's supposed to be 19, which is not a child anymore. I mean, it is a child, but it's not like legally a child. But she just looks like that. Does not look threatening or imposing. Like, I cannot find this picture.
I have one, but it's a really bad fucking shot of it.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay, I found one. I found the meme page of it. Here we go. This.
And it sucks
right
too
here.
because everyone's saying her acting. I'm not gonna spoil it, but in what happens in the first episode, second episode, what happens in the second episode, her emotion there, yeah, sure, but they expelled all of their emotion in that one fucking scene, and then for the rest of the other episodes, zero emotion at all. There's no emotion to be conveyed at all.
It's like, I don't even think that someone sat down. It's not Bella's fault. This is not Bella's fault. Someone sat down, watched her do the take. I was like, that's good. Then they got it into editing, and they were looking at it, and they were looking at it in editing, and they're like, that's good. And then they got to the final review, and someone watches it through for quality assurance, and they look at it, and they're like, that's good. And they're like, publish that shit. Brother, what? Shit. What the fuck is the bureaucracy for if not to catch bullshit like that? Like, she can make, I mean, this is not a great face, but this is better than that other face. I
wonder if they were worried about bullying. They were like, we can't correct it because then it's going to be bullying.
She got bullied mercilessly by the internet because they didn't correct it. So I don't know, dude. Maybe whoever was in charge of reviewing it just fucking hates Bella Ramsey and was like, "Ha, take that, you bitch!" Now the whole world is gonna fucking meme you. Anyways, speaking of the whole thing, I guess in the upwind or the upsweep, I don't know what to call it, in the
uptick.
Yeah, in the uptick, in the excitement of Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross leaving. Is it Holly or Haley? I actually don't know. It's Halley, but I mean it's like Holly. I don't know. Anyways, in the excitement of them leaving, I also saw other people saying that Bella Ramsey was leaving too, and they're going to recast her with Rachel Zegler. I believe that was a meme, and that's like rumors. That's like rumor mill shit. That's like fake.
It's clickbait.
It is clickbait, but I still think it's interesting that the two. I mean, they co-authored the game, like they co-wrote the game, and Neil Druckmann and Haley Gross worked on both seasons of the show. So for them to be stepping away right now is really interesting, and I wonder if it's mostly they're stepping away because Naughty Dog is making Intergalactic. What's the fucking subtitle to that?
Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet.
That I wonder if they're just stepping away because they need to work on that more than The Last of Us.
He's also the studio head and head of creative, so he has more shit to do than just writing a script for a show of a game he's already done.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's just like, but like I don't know. I feel like it was like their brainchild. Like they were using the show to like make the second game how they really wanted it to be, and they ran out of time or something. And now they're just walking away from it. I don't know. It's a weird. I was telling Ninjahitman this earlier. I almost feel like if he's not trying to distance himself from it because season 2 is hot garbage, and he's not trying to besmirch his fucking resume.
Yeah, dude. It's honestly, this reminds me of the Taika Waititi come up and fall.
Literally,
because you have The Last of Us 1. And even still a little bit The Last of Us 2, but that's when the downtick happened. People went from fucking loving him and praising him and worshiping him to then The Last of Us 2, they start fucking downplaying it. And then season 1 came out and it gets worse. And then season 2 and everyone's like absolutely shit talking him. Well, season 2 and the first trailer for The Heretic Prophet, or the teaser for that, like everyone's absolutely like tearing Neil Druckmann apart. But they spoke so highly of him with The Last of Us season 1, or The Last of Us part 1. But same thing with Taika. Like he releases Ragnarok, everyone loves him. He drops Love and Thunder, and everyone's like, "Yo, fuck this idiot! Someone fire him quickly."
I mean, maybe that's just maybe it's like if you make your fucking, what is it, like Third Symphony or whatever the fuck. Maybe once you make your magnum opus, and then you have to make everything after your magnum opus, because if you deliver anything short, everyone's like, wow, you're a fucking dildo.
So is it that, or is it like they do something well and then they get cocky and they take too much creative freedom?
Maybe that.
I could see it being either one. I could see it being either one. I could see it being like you hit such a high note and you can't deliver, and so then you just get absolutely torn apart because the internet's fucking ruthless.
So in the case of Neil Druckmann, I think he's just virtue signaling too much, if I'm being honest. I think he was like, I want to have I think him in his own mind was saying like, I want to have a strong female protagonist, but I don't want it to be Ellie because she's too whatever X, Y, or Z. I want her to be like the strong female antagonist, which like that in itself, like you just spent a whole game like building her up as like, you know, someone that people care about, and then the whole like second game is spent like damaging her character and being like, fuck this bitch.
What if that's why with the show he's like, all right, we're gonna really make people hate Ellie this time. We made people love her too much.
Dude. So he's like, yeah, Bella Ramsey did.
Holy shit.
It's his vendetta. Oh, I wrote a character and people loved it too much. You got to ruin the whole character.
I wrote the character too perfectly.
Yeah, I have to ruin the character, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if it was some fucking bullshit like that. I don't know. It's
so Haley.
let's just say Haley. It's Haley.
So her leaving as well is interesting,
right?
Because yes, Neil has a lot on his plate, but what the fuck's she doing?
She's just a writer, as far as I know, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. So my thought process is either she's gonna be going with him to Heretic Prophet, and
well, she's definitely working on that already. Like she's credited already for working on that.
Okay.
So
then I guess they would just be both going to that. But I was wondering if he was going to task her to go ahead and start with The Last of Us Part 3, see if she could cook up anything. And then once they were done with Heretic Prophet, they'd move on over to The Last of Us 3 together or something like that. Just
to clarify, it's not season 3, it's part 3, meaning the third game. Just to clarify.
Yes. To clarify.
Just so y'all, the audience, are not getting confused, because I know there is a third season coming out, because we made the first game 1 season of TV, and then we made the second game 2 seasons of TV, or 3 actually. So it'll be on season 4. So if there is a Last of Us Part 3 game, then that'll be probably another 3 seasons if they do well. But like,
I don't know if the show would make it that far.
I think I'm surprised they didn't just outright cancel it after what happened in season 2. If I was HBO, I would just cancel the show.
I think it will after season 3. If they need to make it for 3 seasons for the second game, I think they're gonna have to cancel it. I don't foresee it getting 3 seasons for the second game.
I don't know how it got approved for that in the first place. Making that little content into 3 seasons is insane. Like, I know you can add like suspense and like cliffhanger, like you can add timing to like how people are saying things or how scenes are happening, or like you can have more like panoramic, like wide view shots where it's like nothing's really happening, but like the characters are looking at each other or something. Like, I know television does a lot of that shit, and that's not so much in video games. I mean, it is to a degree, but like that's like a cheat way to add filler to like a show. But like, I don't know, at some point you have to think about what your audience wants and wonder if that you're betraying their.
If they don't make season 3 longer than season 2, they're gonna fuck up, because season 3 is adapting Abby's side of the story.
Yeah.
And it needs to be, so that season needs to be longer, because there's a little chunk of story after Abby and Ellie meet up. So season 2 was Ellie's journey up until meeting Abby, and then season 3 is going to start off back at fucking day 1, leading up to when Abby runs into Ellie.
Right.
And
season 4 is going to be a little bit after that.
But I think that's what their game plan is, and that's not going to work.
I think gameplay wise though, like after they meet, the game is like got an hour left, maybe.
That's why I'm worried they're going to try to make that a whole season. So season 3 needs to just be longer than season 2, and you need to just fit in Abby's story, or Abby's side of the story, and then that other section at the end.
Well, so people were speculating that in the 4th season of the show, that there was going to be like in the future, like 10 years in the future or something, with
that's gonna give me heartburn,
with Ellie and I always want to call her Lydia for some reason. I don't know why, because fucking woman that follows you around, I guess, so therefore she must be Lydia. I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck is her name? It's not Mel, it's the other bitch.
What was her name? I can't remember names at all today.
Same. We didn't have enough fucking supplements or whatever. Memory.
Dina,
dude, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, people are speculating it's gonna be Dina and Ellie raising what's his name?
That's dumb.
Did they show the scene with Jesse then in season 2?
You mean the scene?
Yes, the scene with Jesse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Get fucked.
Pretty much how the episode ends, or
the season ends.
Season ends, basically.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, that's how Ellie's first section of the game ends.
I mean, that's true. I don't know.
Have you heard about these Microsoft layoffs, Rocket? Are you sad? Are you scared? Are you crying?
So
perhaps?
this, I mean, it sucks. People lost their jobs, learned to code or whatever.
Yeah, but how many people?
I don't know. Wasn't it like 9,000?
9,100.
Yeah, which
is only 4% of its workforce, which is crazy.
Well, keep in mind, in April, maybe it was March or February, but earlier this year, they laid off 6,000 people. I think it was this year anyway.
It was 2 months ago.
Okay, so it was April, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a whole lot of fucking people, dude.
Yeah, but so I was watching Asman talk about this of all people, because I'm a big Asman fan, these days. Daniel's watching his Hassan and I'm watching my Asman, and they born to clash. That's not really relevant to anything I'm saying right now.
At least you know.
And he was saying that when Elon bought X, he restructured everything and he deleted a ton of middle management. So he got rid of a lot of the bureaucratic bullshit within the organization. Yeah. And X kept running the way it was running without all of that. And I think when he did that, other companies took notice and they're like, hey, he just eliminated a ton of middle management. So those are people we're paying, and his company's the company is running the same as it was, because you don't need the middle management for your grunts to do the grunt shit, Yeah. So, and that's actually a lot of the people who got laid off in this layoff apparently are middle management type positions. So it's interesting.
Maybe you're right about that.
It's interesting that it was as what Asman was saying.
Yeah, let me not give you his thunder.
Exactly. Don't give me credit for Asman, dude. And fucking we'll never hear the end of it from Drool Man. I don't know. I mean, if true, I think that's pretty accurate. Because
it's smart money wise.
You don't need a manager of the HR department who reports to a manager of the branch head or whatever. And it's you have an employee, right? And they don't even know what's going on. They're just working on their computer. They're designing, I don't know. They design the fucking font for Microsoft, right? And then they've got a boss who directly supervises them to make sure they're on task. And then that supervisor has a boss who's the head of that branch or that department or however you want to call it. And then that boss has another boss who's the head of the building or whatever, the building manager or something that is in charge of that person. And then that boss has to report to whoever fucking other boss that reports to whoever. And it just keeps it's like a fucking ladder. And it's you don't need all these fucking bosses bossing bosses around. That shit is stupid. And that's why it takes so long for things to get done. Because I'm here designing the font and I'm oh shit, this font's not right. Let me ask my boss if this is how they want it. And the boss is I don't know, let me ask my boss.
Let me ask my boss.
And then it just goes all the way up to whoever actually makes the fucking decision. And that could be I send that email in the morning. My boss sends the email maybe later that afternoon. Then everyone goes home, and then the next day, or it's a weekend even, the boss comes in and he looks at it, and it takes a week. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here trying to work on the font, and I need an answer for whether this parenthesis is the correct angle or not. And I have to sit and wait a week for people to talk to each other and communicate, and for it to get passed all the way down to me finally. And I know there's you could email if you know who makes the decision, you can just email them directly and like CC all your bosses. Like, I know that's a thing, but like, how often does that happen?
Especially also, sometimes those kids hate that shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes they want you going up the chain of command.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because like, what, dude, could you imagine you're working, you have like 10 stacks of people below you, and some guy who you've never even met is sending you an email asking you a question, because ultimately you make the decision, and he's asking you a question and you're just like, bitch, I don't know who the fuck you are. And like, that's me asking about a parenthesis. Like, how many other people go up the chain of command to talk to that one person? His inbox is probably full of shit. Like,
well, and also part of the issue with that too, as to why it takes so long for stupid shit like that to get answered and resolved. Every company has a huge issue with communication because everyone's fucking stupid. So not only do you have to go up 7 layers of
but then
management,
the guy who makes the decision has to go down to find someone who can explain to him what he's even looking at.
Well, and not only that, but by the time it actually gets back to you, they'll be like, oh yeah, my boss said use the color red. And it's like, what? I'm asking about fucking
the angles. Yeah.
So there's always like that fucking issue.
Dude. Well, it's because you're playing telephone. So like Microsoft is like, hey man, we can cut off a bunch of people. We can save money because we're not paying those people, which I doubt they're saving a lot of money, but like it helps. And then at the same time, it's like, you know, the company should still be running the same. Now, I don't think everyone who got laid off was in management, because they canceled some games also. And they closed, I don't want to say they closed Rare, but something happened with Rare. They closed.
They nuked it.
They nuked. But it wasn't just Rare though. They nuked a couple studios and other branches of Microsoft. So I know there was one of the ones was like someone who works on like one of the Office Suite programs. That's like, it's not like Excel, but it's like in that realm of like software and stuff. They closed like a branch that does that sort of stuff. So I don't know what they did, but like it was something related to the Microsoft Office like suite. Maybe it's the people who do OneDrive. I don't know.
Hopefully so. I hope they fucking publicly execute all those people.
Holy shit. I don't think you can. That's a meme. Okay. This is just a joke.
The Perfect Dark remake got canceled.
Well,
Everwild got canceled. Project Blackbird got canceled. And the not very much known about Romero FPS game got canceled.
Romero FPS. Oh yeah. So my thing about Perfect Dark getting canceled is, again, I was watching Asman and he was talking about this. They put out an image of the protagonist in that, and I don't know if you played the Perfect Dark games when you were younger, but the protagonist was kind of hot. I mean, back in the day, she's like a cartoon now when you look at her, but
she was a cartoon then.
Yeah, but like things were different back then. And now their protagonist just looks like some like 40-year-old like lady, just like a lady off the street. I don't know.
She do be looking kind of average.
Yeah, dude. I guess I should pull a picture up of what she used to look like and what she looks like now. Hold on.
Yeah, do a good comparison.
So I mean, like, she's not, I don't know. This is from the wiki, so this is not exactly like, it was like
wiki.
You know, it was like a 2D
2D's nuts.
I guess it's a 3D game or whatever, but like what she looks like now, or would have looked like, versus what she did look like. All right, so here's this. This is like from her wiki, and this is like actually like her model from the game, I think. And then this is, here, we'll give you a little more time on this one. Yeah, and then yep, enjoy. And then there's this one, right? And then this, like, I mean, she looks realistic, but like I almost feel like she looks too old.
Yeah, add it to the spank bank.
Exactly. Like, there's nothing against that necessarily, but she's supposed to be like a spy, right? And spy is the easiest way to put that. I don't know. So like Asmund was like, you can't Western games are failing because they keep making ugly chicks as the and like she's not even ugly, she just like doesn't quite look like, she's not hot, and she looks like she's just too old. She looks like Daniel Craig's James Bond towards the end, right? Like she's not like she's up there, right?
Damn.
Yeah, I know, right? Shout out Daniel Craig. I don't know. So there's that. But that game had been in development for a little bit.
6 years.
Yeah, so
or 5+ years. Sorry, that one was 5+ years.
Yeah, that one was 5+. So like, and they had basically nothing to show for it. So like, you know, like they had a concept art of some sort. Like, like you got to be putting stuff out, and it makes sense that they would do that to that, and to what the fuck is that game called? Everwild. I don't know why I said that. Everwild started development originally in 2014, and then it was restarted in 2021. So I don't know if that means they were working on it from 2014 until 2021 for 7 years, and then they scrapped it and restarted, or if they worked on it a little bit and then scrapped it and then picked it back up in 21. But from 21, it's been in development until they just canceled it, and that basically doesn't even have a working, like, there's like, it's an MMO, and MMOs take a lot because they have to, like, if you launch your MMO and it's not good when it launches, right? That was the MMO.
In the
right?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everwild was the MMO.
And then, well, so Project Blackbird was also MMO. Nah, was it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No,
you know what?
Actually, I don't think it was. I think it was a story-based game. And if you don't have a fucking, it's a sumptuous cel-shaded game from Rare that looks like a lost Miyazaki film. Everwild today was announced in the XO19 Inside Xbox presentation. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we did have that wrong. It is the Project Blackbird. That's the MMO.
Okay, so it says Rare says it's an open world title that it'll be developing along Sea of Thieves, so don't expect it to arrive anytime soon. And Sea of Thieves came out last year, 2 years ago. Sea of Thieves been out, is what I'm saying. And this game did not have a working version yet. So I would cancel it too, dude. Like,
damn.
Like, it's not even,
yeah, that's true.
Like, they didn't even have alpha yet. So like, you get that shit out of here. And then the other one was Project Blackbird, which, I mean, rip, because that was under ZeniMax Studios, who do Elder Scrolls Online, and they were doing a sci-fi, futuristic MMO. I think you know more about it than I do. But Elder Scrolls Online is doing really good. Still is doing pretty good. Like, people play it, at least.
Yeah. What I'm curious though, did they just go around shutting down games that didn't have much to show, and so they were like, all right, scrap it, you're done, scrap it, you're done? Or was there something else behind them scrapping these games?
I wonder if these games were just not moving very fast, and they basically were looking at it look, you guys have had a long time and you haven't really made any progress at all. I think you're just coming here and pretending to work.
Well, so they actually stated, so Xbox's executives were blown away by Blackbird when they were shown it literally just a few months ago.
Not even the executives, the people who had been brought in to play test, because they had some play testers, and play testers were even saying that it seemed like it was really cool.
Yeah.
Super closed testing, by the way, where you had to go to their fucking studio or whatever. So I'm assuming it's people who know the people that work there, I would assume. Yeah, I don't know. That game's one of those things that maybe they just want them to focus on Elder Scrolls Online more.
It wasn't even scheduled to release until 2028.
Well, so that was the problem, and it's been in development since 2019, I think. So like,
that's crazy, and it's an MMO, which is already really expensive to make and upkeep. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
they weren't making enough progress with it.
But like we were saying, if you don't do an MMO right, it's a DOA.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, I don't know, what does that mean for going forward? Because like, apparently Xbox is not making money on Game Pass, is what I've been hearing. I haven't actually looked that up, but it's they say that, like, well, so they lose on Game Pass because they're giving people like games basically for free,
like day one games sometimes even.
Yeah, and so they lose a little bit, but they were using that to pad their console sales because people were buying consoles because you could buy a console and then have Game Pass and have an instant library, right?
Yeah. And
so, but now it seems like no one's buying the consoles, so now they're losing on Game Pass. So I don't know. Like, I feel like Game Pass is still like, it's like it's a good value for consumers. It's not as good as Epic just giving you free games every week, and it's not as good as PlayStation Plus, I think, because PS Plus gives you games every month. And you know, it's only a couple games every month, but as long as you have a subscription to PS Plus, you have access to those games. Game Pass is more like Netflix, where you can play the games as long as they're licensed on Game Pass. So there's a couple games that I had on Game Pass that I don't have access to anymore because the license agreements expired. So like, I would have to buy them if I wanted to continue playing them.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
But like, I still think that I mean, you know, I still think it's a good deal. I still recommend it to people if you're gonna be, if there's games on Game Pass you're gonna be playing, like having Game Pass is like a great thing, and you can start and stop it like whenever you want. So like, it's not a bad deal. Like, if you know you're only gonna play a game for a month, you can get Game Pass for $10, play the game, and then cancel your subscription.
I just looked it up, and they're doing that fucking Ubisoft thing. So I wonder if they're actually making money or if they're being little lying crybabies. But because they're not actually dropping numbers, but or at least they're not dropping how much money they've made from it. But they're claiming they're not losing money from Game Pass. So much so they actually just had like a record quarter due to like fucking numbers on Game Pass.
Hell yeah.
So
I meant, when I said they're losing money, I just meant like they're losing money because they're not getting sales of games like on their store.
Oh, well, revenue's revenue though.
Yeah, like, revenue is revenue, but like, I don't know. It's like, are they making enough to just like, so say Call of Duty is on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
How many people downloaded that on Game Pass versus purchased it in person or like on the store? And if everyone who downloaded on Game Pass bought it, what would that look like? Because I'm curious if like that, like COD is a very specific one, that I'm curious if they didn't lose money on that game specifically because they had it on Game Pass versus selling it on their console.
So they announced in fiscal year 2025 Q2 earnings call on January 29th, revealing that Xbox content and services revenue grew by 2%, thanks largely to a record quarter for Game Pass. Much of the Xbox Games Pass growth came from its notable recent day one releases. The report cited how Black Ops 6 had the biggest launch of any Call of Duty title and remained the top-selling game on both Xbox and PlayStation. So I wonder though, with Xbox, does that get inflated due to Game Pass downloads, or is that actual Xbox store sales? Because if it's still the top selling game on Xbox, despite it being free on Game Pass, that's kind of cool.
Keep in mind,
they use tricky wording on purpose.
Yeah, and keep in mind that you can buy things on the Xbox store on PC, and that gets wrapped in there.
True.
So yeah. I don't know. I I'm rip Project Blackbird. I think that overall this was a W for Xbox, for Microsoft. We'll see how it turns out in a decade or whatever. Sucks people
RIP
lost
those jobs.
Yeah, RIP those jobs. Sucks for those people. I don't know what to say. Like, I know people who have been laid off. It sucks, but like, that's what happens when you're in the workforce. You might get laid off someday.
Yeah.
I mean, it always sucks, but like, if you were doing a good job, you should have resources like, I don't know, what are they called? Contacts. You should have networking.
That in your portfolio, like,
yeah,
if you
in your
say,
portfolio.
yeah, I worked on, I don't even know. I was working on Project Blackbird.
I mean, that's a thing, but like, I don't know how much I'd want to say, oh yeah, I was working on that game that never came out and it got canceled. Like, that doesn't look as good.
True.
Yeah, that doesn't. Oh yeah, I was working on that game for 9 years and then it got canceled. Like, that doesn't look as good as being like, hey, I worked on this project. Here's what I did. Here, like, you can see it in the game, or something like that. I don't know. Still, you should fucking network and have people and have connections that, yes, maybe you got laid off, but you can go work for, I don't know, Ubisoft or something, or Claire Obscure's team, whatever they're called. I forgot what they're called.
Speaking of rips in the chat, RIP the homie Michael Madsen and Julian McMahon.
Damn. I mean, in my perspective, I feel like both of those guys are kind of like niche actors. Like, I don't know many things that either of them have been in, but I liked the things they were in that I saw anyway.
I agree with Michael Madsen. So Julian McMahon, I actually haven't seen too much that he was in other than
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. Yeah, I didn't realize he was the Nip Tuck guy. Once I read that, I was like, oh yeah, he was the Nip Tuck guy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, he was in a couple. Yeah. He was in both the Fantastic Fours, wasn't he?
He was.
There was only 2, right?
Charmed. Yeah. 2 that he was in. There's 3 movies total.
Did he have a big role in Charmed?
I have no idea. His first role was the Profiler.
Oh, that is.
But yeah, I'd never heard of that either. Michael Madsen was super sad.
True.
He's a big Quentin Tarantino actor, so almost all of Quentin Tarantino's movies he was in. He was in Reservoir Dogs, which was my favorite role of his. He was in Kill Bill 1 and 2. He was in The Hateful Eight, and he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So like most of his recent movies he was in.
Who was he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I think it was a smaller role. Let's see.
I'm about to pull it up.
I'll pull up.
Yeah, exactly. He was. It's a little further down than I thought it was going to be. Hello? The movie's not that old, is it? Jesus, maybe it is. When did that movie come out? 2019?
It came out at some point.
Yeah, 2019. He was Sheriff Hackett on Bounty Law. So he was a
TV show fucking cameo.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah, so it was a smaller role.
Yeah, it was. His role, so he didn't have the biggest role in Reservoir Dogs either. But his role was important, I think.
I mean, I would argue, other than the one that dies off screen, all of the people had pretty big roles.
Who dies off screen?
People that Mr. Blue, I think.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He's like
Quentin Tarantino's character.
No. Quentin Tarantino is like Mr. Brown or something, and he doesn't die off screen. He just dies away from everybody else, so they don't know he died. I think. Hello? What was that? Was that you knocking on something?
No, it was broke.
Oh.
So Mr. Blue was the old guy. Quentin Tarantino's Mr. Brown.
Michael Madsen is Mr. Blonde. Tim Roth is Mr. Orange. Steve Buscemi is Mr. Pink because, well, you know why.
Exactly.
Dude, if you know, you know. If you don't know, go watch the film.
That's true.
Who was the son? Like the dude's son? Well, that was like Mr. White's son.
Yeah, Mr. Brown dies in a off screen. Fuck, I already closed that.
Mr. Brown dies off screen? Oh.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino's character.
I don't know. I feel like it cuts to him at some point and he's dead. Or like maybe you see him get shot and then he dies off screen. Cause like
the old guy was Joe Cabot, right? And then his son was Marvin Nash. Is that who that is? No, Nice Guy Eddie. That's the son, I think.
Was it? Okay. Anyways, Michael Madsen's, I mean, I wanna change what I said. I don't think actually his role was small. I think he had a very important role. I forgot that there was the whole fucking shit where he was trying to save Mr. Orange or whatever. He's basically the main character, actually, now that I fucking thinking back on it.
Yeah, the main ones really are like Mr. Blonde, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink. I'd really say that's it. And then the cop.
Yeah, but I don't know. You could put nah, you're right.
So that the day he passed, which was Thursday, I ended up watch partying Kill Bill 1 and 2 in memory of him.
Hell yeah.
His role in Kill Bill was like
pretty big.
At least the first one. The first one, it was small. He has like a.
So like,
actually, does he even show up in the first one?
No. I think it's only
the second one.
I think fucking what's her name? Lucy Liu. I think Lucy Liu is like the only. I mean, they're all in it to an extent, and like the flashbacks, and like where they're all standing over Uma Thurman, so we don't spoil the bride, I guess we'll call her. But I don't think it's really just Lucy Liu's character, because
and the first chick.
Yeah, but she dies real fast. Like that fight is not long, and then it's like she's flying to Japan, basically. I don't think anyway. I never thought that fight was very long. I thought that it was like Lucy Liu's part was like way bigger than like any of the other people in the whole series, like in the whole 2 movies.
That fight was the coolest, I think.
Yeah, it probably was. It was the most like, I mean, it was like really over the top and like ridiculous, but like that whole fight was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So when he was for those of you who don't know this, when he was streaming them in Discord, he was having the watch party or whatever, I was doing stuff, like I was making food for a party we're having on Friday for 4th of July, and I would just come back intermittently and like say something to the mic and then just walk away, and I don't know, I thought it was funny. I think Ninjahitman thought it was funny too, but no one else reacted.
That's true. No one did else react. So Michael Madsen, whatever him, he passed away from cardiac arrest.
Oof.
Julian McMahon, he died of cancer. R.I.P.
Damn. Cancer comes for us all in the end.
True. I really do.
Except for me, I'll probably die of cardiac arrest.
True.
Because that's how most people die. If it's not cancer.
Cardiac arrest due to your cancer.
True.
So,
big brain.
Not to clickbait, but I believe the console wars are ending, Rock.
Oh boy.
So PlayStation is publishing one of its console exclusives on Xbox on the same day that Xbox is bringing one of its most popular franchises to PlayStation. So Helldivers 2 is going to be coming to Xbox finally, and Gears of War Reloaded, which is the remaster of Gears of War 1, that is coming to PC and PlayStation, which is sick.
You think they had like an agreement or something to do this? Or do you think Sony was like, oh, you're tossing us a bone, we'll toss you a bone? I mean,
I don't know. Well, actually,
the other thing is like Forza's already on PlayStation, right? Or one of the Forzas is. But Helldivers is on Steam also, is it not?
It is.
So
or it's on at least Epic or something. One of the two.
So I don't know. The console wars are kind of a silly. I always thought they were silly in the first place because it's like, who cares? The biggest thing was always like, oh, we can't play together, right? Like I couldn't play with my friend who had an Xbox all the time, unless I also had an Xbox, and that was always stupid. But Sony was the big one, like fucking all that shit up with crossplay, and I think Sony allowing crossplay is actually what ended the console wars. Granted, we were talking about the sales earlier, and it sounds like in PS3 overtook Xbox sales, and then PS4 outdid Xbox, and PS5 definitely outdid Xbox. So, and then Nintendo's just off fucking around in the fucking kindergarten or whatever, fucking making their fucking poverty consoles. Yeah. Making hella money, by the way, making underpowered fucking dog shit consoles. Like, Switch 2 is cool. Like, I'll give you that. It is cool. It's better than the Switch 1. I'll give you that too. Is it the best handheld that could hit the market right now? I don't think so. Now, is it the best handheld that you can detach the controller from? Might be. Because first of all, I don't even.
Is it not the only one?
I don't know. It probably is, but like, you got to think when you buy something. I had a couple PSPs and I broke the stick on one of my PSPs, so that it wasn't really a stick. It was like a little circle. Yeah, it was like a little circle nipple thing, and it didn't
shout out nipple.
Yeah, so it was. I broke the stick though, and I couldn't use the stick on that PSP. And guess what? If you ruin the buttons on something like a PSP or a Steam Deck, generally, I mean, you could get them repaired, right? But short of getting them repaired, you just have to replace them. Whereas, like on a Switch, if you break a Joy-Con, just get a new one. You have a problem with stick drift or something, just get a new one.
Can you get a new screen if you break the screen?
Well, I don't know about on Switch 2, but on Switch 1, you can just buy a new screen. And those looked like they were pretty easy to replace. I watched a couple of videos on it one time. And basically, it looks like you open the console up, which the controllers aren't attached. So you don't have to worry about any springs for your buttons flying out. You open the console up, you take the old screen out, and it's just attached with like a ribbon wire. And then you put the new screen, you plug the new screen in, and you just like put it down and like put everything back in place. There's like once you like take the screen out, there's like a plate under it that was like over something that you have to take off, but it was like looked really easy. Like a circuit board or something you have to take off. Didn't look hard at all. I don't know about the Switch 2. I assume it would be the same, because how else do, like, you know, if you take it to like a repair shop, how else are they going to fix it if they can't take the screen off?
True.
So,
damn. So I just looked at the numbers real quick, and unless the AI overview is incorrect, it looks like the PS4 and the PS5 doubled the sales of the Xbox, like each respective Xbox.
Damn.
So PS4. So this also says shipped, which is again tricky wording because shipped is not sales,
right?
But it says shipped 117.2 million units. Xbox One sold around 58.5 million. But if they shipped 117, let's just assume
let's just call it 90.
They actually sold. Yeah.
Let's just call it 90. I mean, how many are actually sitting on a shelf still though?
Yeah.
But for any console, honestly, for any console though, how many are sitting on a shelf? I go into Target and I always look at what consoles they have in stock. I never see, well, you wouldn't see any Series 1 or whatever, Xbox Ones or dude, Xbox naming schemes are so fucking stupid. You wouldn't see any Xbox Ones or PS4s, but I never see any PS5s or Xbox Series X's. I see Switch Lites sometimes, but that's almost the only console I ever see sitting on a shelf when I go to a store. And every time I go to a store, I always look at the consoles because I'm always curious, like, who has stock of what. Like, I'm always checking stock on consoles, and there's almost never stock of anything. Like, I feel like it's really hard to go into a store and buy a console just like on a whim. I'm sure there are places you could do it, like maybe rural bumfuck nowhere, but definitely not here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but shipped and sold are different statistics. But even if it does say shipped, I would assume it's probably like, how many places do they have sitting consoles? I'd say it's pretty close to the actual number of sold consoles.
More than likely, yeah. And that also could just be one of those things where, like, that might be the wording because that's the wording Sony's released.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see PS4s sitting around anywhere unless it's like a fucking pawn shop.
Yeah, maybe Sony counts their numbers as we've sent it to a retailer, it's shipped, which,
yeah,
you know, that's fair. And Xbox is saying the retailer sold it, we sold it. But I mean, Xbox could even be saying we sold it to a retailer, it's sold.
That's true, yeah.
So I don't know.
The PS5 and Xbox Series numbers are 61.7 for PS5 and 28.3 for Series XS.
Damn.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, I don't even know anyone who owns an X. What? That's not true. I know 2 people who own one. Oh, 3 actually. I forgot Moken. Sorry, Moken. I didn't mean to forget you. I only know 3 people who own Xboxes, but I own 2 PlayStation 5s. So, like,
damn, you helped out that statistic. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. How many PS5s do you have?
0 currently.
Oh, Daniel has 1. Actually, he has 2. Never mind. He does have 2, I think, unless he sold one. He be buying and selling shit all the time. He bought 2 Pros and he was gonna sell me one. Just fuck you, Ninjahitman. You weren't there that day, so you don't get one. Good. But I think he might have sold it without my permission, even though he's gonna sell it to me. So who knows? Yeah, exactly. Dude, he sold his property without my permission. How dare he?
Damn. Let's go over the free games and then Crumbl review and then call it.
All right.
So only Epic Games this week. So from July 3rd to July 10th. So you gotta fucking hop on this bitch quick to get these 2 games by the time this is uploaded. You have Figment and Backpack Hero. And then on July 10th through to July 17th, you have Skyracket and Figment 2. That's kind of cool if they're doing like Figment back to back. Never fucking heard of that game. I don't know what the fuck it's about, but it's still cool.
Dude, I've never heard of Figment. I mean, I think I already got on and got that one, but I've never heard of that one. And then you said there's Figment 2. I didn't even know there was a sequel. Is there a Figment 3? I don't know. There could be. Who knows? I've never heard of any of them. The fact I've never heard of it. The fact that I've never heard of the first one and there's 2 of them is insane to me. Like, I mean, it's not that insane, but like, it's kind of insane.
No, fuck it, it's insane. No, fuck it, it's insane.
I consider myself just a common person, just average person. Maybe even a person who pays more attention to gaming news than other people, and I've never heard of it. So, there's a lot of shit on like Steam I've never heard of also. So, you know,
most of the time, I don't know. Sometimes if I click the game that's free and it looks absolutely stupid, I will not grab it. But sometimes I'll go ahead and grab it just in case. You never know. Like your taste will change, or like maybe they announce like they drop one of these games and then like 2 years from now someone's like, dude, did you ever play Figment? That's like the best game I ever played. And I'd be like, no, I didn't actually. It looked stupid to me. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then you have FOMO.
Exactly.
So I try not to do that unless I click it and it looks absolutely fucking stupid.
I just get them all anyway, except for the GOG games. Twitch Prime Gaming gives a lot of stuff away on GOG.
A lot.
And I don't like logging into my GOG because it makes me log in on my desktop and it doesn't save my password. And so I just would rather not do that. So I just opt to not claim any of those ever.
My Witcher and my Cyberpunk are actually both on GOG.
Hell yeah.
I also own Hitman Absolution and Postal. Those are like the only games I have on there.
I think they gave some game away that was like Hitman level or like Witcher 3 or something, like a big game, and I got on and got that one. But like generally speaking, like I'm just like fuck that shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we talked about the cornbread cookie last week. So after some thinking, I decided I was not going to skip it, and I wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I wanted to actually try it so that way I could not be a little bitch. And boy, let me tell you, I wish I would have just skipped it.
You really didn't like that butter.
It actually wasn't that bad. So it was really weird. So I drove all the way home before I tried it, because I wanted to try it with Brooke.
Was it still warm? Was it?
It was.
Okay.
It was still warm. So my issue number one, they did a lot of fucking syrup, and syrup got all over the fucking box. So much so the box, because I got a 6-pack.
Yeah.
The fucking side of the box is like sticky. So like, you go to open it, and if you're looking at the box, the left side of the box where the cookie was is like sticking. So you have to actually like pry it apart.
Gross.
That was annoying.
That's icky. I don't like that.
Buttercream, which is a good frosting. So that was like, whatever. Like I didn't mind that. But the cookie did actually taste like cornbread, and that was really fucking weird. It even had like the gritty consistency.
That's I don't know. I don't think I fuck with that. I should have gone and got one too, but I don't know.
It was just weird. Like it's a savory cookie, so like some people fuck with stuff like that. That's one of the more regarded cookies from what I understand. Someone on the subreddit even has waited for 6 months for the cookie to come back around, and they went and got a 12-pack, I think.
Of that cookie?
They even said of that cookie, either a 6-pack or a 12-pack, but specifically just of cornbread.
Learn to make it yourself, dude.
Which is just really strange to me. So I went ahead and got the moonbeam cookie as well. That was weird, and I almost wonder if that would be better if the base wasn't the like cookies and cream cookie base, because it's like, like the like Oreo type like chocolate cookie base. So many people try to do cookies and cream, and it's always bad in my opinion. Like it never hits like an Oreo hits. And so it always sticks out like how bad it is to me, and I think that's the issue with that. The frosting on that cookie though is really cool. It's like a lemon raspberry frosting. And the cookie looked pretty. Like, they did like the whole.
I feel like that frosting would go better with like a just a different cookie.
Yeah, that I think that's my biggest issue with that cookie. I haven't eaten all of it. I tried a little bit of just the frosting, and then I tried like a little chunk that was like the cookie and the frosting. But I wasn't a huge fan. The s'mores brownie let me down as well. So I got 2 of those, one for me, one for Brooke. She liked a lot more than me, and I don't know if hers was less burnt than mine, but mine just tasted burnt.
Shout out Domino's lava cakes.
Yeah, essentially. So that bothered me a little bit, but I don't know. So this week coming up, they have milk chocolate chip.
Spoilers.
True. Spoilers for the upcoming.
The milk chocolate chip, by the way, is the one that's better than the chocolate chunk, which is what they had last week, which is the one with the fucking salt.
Semi-sweet chocolate chunk. So I did get one of those actually, and I actually didn't mind that.
Was it the salted one?
Yes, it was the chocolate chunk.
I don't like that one. Anyways, continue with what we got this week.
They didn't put a lot of salt on that one, so I don't know. Maybe the salt fucks you up. Like that's why you don't like it.
I don't mind. Actually, I put flaky salt on my own chocolate chip cookies. I don't mind that. It's just that cookies doesn't. I don't know. There's something. There's like, I think what it is there's too much cookie and not enough chocolate. Like the chocolate is like too like sparse, if that makes sense.
So, milk chocolate chip.
All right.
Biscoff cheesecake, which is a new item for them. I'm gonna try that. I'm excited for that. Aloha pie, which I think was also a new item. Raspberry cupcake cookie. a molten lava cookie, which is one of my favorites, a sugar shark cookie, and a brookie cookie.
Brookie cookie. I don't really. I think I already said this before, but brookies. I don't really like brookies. I'd rather either have a brownie or a cookie. I don't want both. You didn't really go over the Biscoff one well enough, I think, because I think it's important to say that this is their description: a luscious cheesecake bursting with warm spices and crunchy Biscoff cookie pieces, baked on a buttery Biscoff cookie crust, then topped with a sprinkle of crushed Biscoff cookies, a glossy pool of melted Biscoff cookie butter, and fresh whipped cream.
I didn't go over any of the fucking cookies.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like that needs to be. You need to make a point that it's not like a Biscoff cookie. It's a fucking Biscoff cookie, dog. Like you just gotta, you know. And what the fuck is an aloha pie? Can you explain to the class what that is?
Yes, that is a fresh vanilla bean mousse flavored with a hint of coconut layered over a cookies and cream crust, finished with rich chocolate fudge, toasted macadamia nuts, and swirls of fresh whipped cream. I would try that if not for the coconut.
I don't like the way that sentence is compiled. A fresh vanilla bean mousse flavored. That's all it says. A fresh vanilla bean mousse flavored with a hint of chocolate with a hint of coconut layered over a cookies and cream crust. Huh?
Yeah. I read it straight from the website. That wasn't
fresh vanilla bean mousse flavored with a hint of coconut layered over a cookies and cream crust. What does that mean? Like, I feel like we're missing some nouns there.
I think that's a typo. Yeah.
I don't know, but that one does. It kind of looks good. I would fuck with that one. I might get that one. I don't like the pies though. I don't like
really,
cookies.
Dude. I got their pies around Thanksgiving, and was super shocked. So they did a week of like nothing but pies. They didn't do cookies.
Pie.
Yeah. Okay. So I got like one of all their pies. They had like, well, I think they had an apple pie, and I don't think I got that, but they had like a pumpkin pie, cookies and cream Oreo pie, fucking damn, I don't remember what else they had, but a pecan pie.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, they had a bunch for Thanksgiving, and like even the ones I was like, I'm gonna get this, but I don't think I'm gonna like it. I really fucking like I think the Oreos and cream pie. So I'm really weird about Oreos or cookies and cream because like usually it never actually stacks up to how good Oreos actually are. So it's just fucking dumb. That fucking pie blew me away. I was not expecting to like it, so I was already going into it a little negative, and it fucking swayed me.
Well, that's good.
I don't like the consistency of coconut. Love the taste, so I'm probably not gonna get the Aloha pie, and that kind of sucks because otherwise that pie sounds really good.
Damn. You like macadamia nuts?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I like all nuts.
Oh, you're talking about my cock.
Exactly. We're not gonna dive into religion. I'm gonna just only use this as a segue. Crumbl is a Mormon company, so therefore they are going to. I think they're testing it, but I think it might have actually passed. So I don't know if every store eventually gets this or what's gonna happen, but dirty sodas are coming, and that's kind of cool. I probably won't get those often. I do want to try it if my store actually gets them. And for the uninitiated, that is a soda with cream in it, which is big in Mormon communities because they do not believe in drinking caffeine from coffee, so they drink it in soda.
I don't know. I've heard conflicting things from different practicing Mormons about that.
There was a schism in Mormonism. You know what? Let's fucking backtrack. I don't think we should dive into this.
My favorite Mormon lore is soaking, dude.
Oh my god. It's not sex. Anyways,
that was episode 15.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Would you try dirty soda?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say soaking. A dirty soda. Would I try a dirty soda? I've had a dirty soda before.
Hell yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant. Cream makes my tum hurt.
What a fucking pussy. So am I. Suck it up.
No.
Yeah, suck up the fucking cream in the milk.
I don't know. So it was a strawberry dirty soda. It was like, I don't know. Imagine strawberry Fanta with cream in it. And then there were fucking like the boba bubbles for those of you who don't understand what a boba bubble is, but it's the like clear ones and they have juice in them and they pop. We had this conversation with Daniel the other day and he didn't know what the fuck we were talking about because he's retarded, but
so you're talking about Pop Rocks. Got it.
Exactly, Pop Rocks. They're not Pop Rocks. Ninjaman said bubbles that pop and he was like, oh, Pop Rocks. Yeah, I don't know. That kid's drooling all over something somewhere probably. Right now as we speak, in fact.
He should be asleep, so he might actually be drooling.
He might actually be drooling. I mean, when is he not? Anyways, it was pretty good. I don't know. I don't know if it's not something I would make a regular habit of because it really dilutes how fizzy the drink is. And generally the only thing I drink that's not carbonated is water. Otherwise, if it's not carbonated, I don't fuck with it. Did you just hold up
a fucking Coke bottle, by the way, when you said water? Okay. So your window's small, so I just saw a red labeled bottle.
Oh, okay. I mean, I've got a Dr. Pepper bottle.
So I thought this kid was like, yeah, I usually just drink water.
Yeah, water. Yeah, I usually just drink water.
Yeah. Yeah, also soda and cookies is fucking weird. I'm a huge milk and cookie type guy.
That's fine.
Like I said, if my store gets them, I'll definitely try it just because I like Crumbl. Like I'm fucking down to try it. I have heard of I've heard of dirty sodas for a while. I've even thought about fucking just making one myself, even at work. There
was like they went viral on TikTok like a year or two ago. Like
yeah, everything on fucking TikTok goes viral because
it's TikTok. Like algorithm, go Bert.
Exactly.
Yeah, but everyone was making them, and then I think that's when all this fucking actual soda shops started popping up everywhere because they went viral on TikTok. TikTok controls the future, dude. If it goes viral on TikTok, you might as well start marketing it. All right.
Exactly.
Now are we done?
Now we are done. That is episode 15.
Oh, I was gonna wrap it. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh.
You do it. You just,
no, that's okay. I won't steal your thunder.
No, you already stole it. It's gone.
Nope.
No,
Lips are zipped.
I'm falling down a well. Oh. All right, that was episode exactly. That was episode 15 of Between a Rock and a Bald Spot, and